guys, it's Kieran from RedDevilWeekly. I just want to give you my kind of post-match thoughts, even though it's not really post-match. It's a day after, so I've had a bit of time to have a look at the reaction on social media, have a look at the reaction from pundits, and just re-watch the highlights, re-watch the game, and just collect my thoughts a little bit about what happened. And maybe it was best that it wasn't filmed after the game, so I sound a bit more coherent. So, you know, this is going to be not that long of a match reaction, just going to go through a few points that I came up with in terms of my reaction to what happened on Saturday evening. But please do leave your thoughts on the game in the comment section down below. I really do want to hear what you guys have to say. And also, feel free to let me know where I'm wrong in terms of what I say, what you think about the points made in the video. But we're going to start with it. Spurs obviously beating United by 2-0. Our shocking away form against the other top 5 teams in this league continues. A 9th game without a victory. It's appalling. It's an appalling record. And unfortunately, yesterday, the response that we thought we were going to get from that Wolves game hasn't turned up in the post. It must have got lost. Because the first half an hour was alright. It was a bit more encouraging. You know, we created chances. Rashford and Fernandes both had opportunities that really they should be putting in the back of the net. We created some stuff. And all in all, we didn't look amazing. We didn't look, 2011 Barcelona, anything like that. But we were alright. You know, it looked like there was a bit of an improvement there. It looked like there was at least a small rocket up their arse when they were playing. But the second half was just straight back to type for Manchester United, especially just after half-time where they scored. That was something that we saw a lot last season. Sarr obviously taking his goal well, poor defending on that side by Shaw and Garnacho to not be able to stop Kulusevski essentially running into our 6-yard area before being able to put a cross in, bobbling around and falling to Sarr, who took his goal well. We saw this problem last season. As soon as we go 1-0 down, away from home, as soon as there's any adversity whatsoever, and the crowd gets on our back, we never come back from it. We always seem to get our heads down. It's always, we're finished. We can't come back into this game. That's not the United I know. That's not the United you guys know. Most United fans will have grown up with, comeback after comeback after comeback, feeling like in a game that we go 1-0 down, if there's time left in the game, there is always hope. And you felt that on the pitch. You'd always feel that the team never gave up. They never stopped believing in potentially getting something out of the game, even if it was a lost cause. And we've seen it not just, with other teams in the league, but with Spurs in particular. You look at the games in the past where United have won 5-3 and come from behind, coming from behind 2-0 down at Old Trafford. I remember that time in 2009, I think Ronaldo doing his famous celebration when he made it 3-2, taking his top off as a very famous image. So not just the fact that we've done it plenty of times in the league, we've done it against Spurs a lot of the time. So, it's worrying to me that that part of the United DNA seems to have been, or seems to have not carried over into this set of players. And I'm not sure why. I'm really not sure why that is. But it's a really important part of your game when you're going for these big trophies. You need to be able to have resilience and you need to be able to come from behind when required. And right now, if United go 1-0 down in a game, I have no confidence that we're coming back. So that's one thing that I noticed, that ultimately when the first goal went in, it just looked like we stopped playing. It looked like the energy and effort wasn't there, and that's really disappointing from a fan's point of view. In terms of Spurs, I thought they thoroughly deserved their victory. I thought Postecoglou, the football he was playing, there really is something there for Spurs, and I think if they can get the recruitment right, get the right players in, and obviously have a good season this season, have a good build a good platform for future seasons, I think they'll be in a really good spot. But Manchester United, what can I say? That second half was pretty well a mirror of what we saw in the Wolves game. Misplaced passes, the forward line not really having a clue between them what to do, looking like they'd never played it with each other before. Garnacho, Rashford and Antony simply has shown itself to be an ineffective front three. Obviously we brought on Sancho. We brought on Martial late as well, which I think was too late from Ten Hag. But I think for me, you look at the midfield again was getting exposed. I think, lack of quality in the midfield. Casemiro having to deal with too many bodies. He was quite poor as well in terms of his passes. Everyone was poor, don't get me wrong, but obviously the midfield is something we do need to address. And since the game, there hasn't really been many strong links. Or, I kind of thought that, if we lost the game, there might be some transfer activity, as there usually is with Manchester United, but it wasn't to be this time. Maybe in the coming week, we'll see some stuff happen with Amrabat or Anana or one of these other guys. But the forward line, and this is my last point actually, the forward line is a real worry. And listen, we've got Højlund coming in. He's not. We don't actually have a striker. Rashford playing through the middle is not the one, especially not in this system. Maybe last year, maybe back in 2019 when Martial got injured at the start of the season and Rashford had to carry the front line. Yes, he's proven in the past he can be alright in that 9 position, but so far this season, there is nothing to suggest that he will score more than maybe 10, 15 Premier League goals this season. And that's being generous, I think, in terms of what we've seen so far. I don't want to be overreactionary because it is only 2 games in and we had a worse start last season. But Rashford through the middle just doesn't seem to work. And it doesn't look like he's comfortable there. So with Højlund coming in, I reserve judgment on this style of play, on this system, until we see a proper number 9 up front with Rashford on that left-hand side. So in that respect, whilst I am worried because I do feel like none of our forward players are clinical, obviously all the chances in the first half, Fernandes, even he was not part of the front three, but he had an awful header over the bar that he should have. 9 times out of 10 he's scoring that. 9 times out of 10. So that was something that does worry me. Still, we've got the old habits of our forward line not taking the chances, and we got punished. But obviously Ten Hag, I think, does have to take a lot of the responsibility from this game in terms of team selection. He decided not to change the team from the Wolves game, which I thought was baffling. He started Garnacho as well, which I really didn't see Garnacho getting a start. I think if the Wolves game didn't do it, this game fully underlined that Garnacho is much better off the bench than he is starting. And that's fine. People forget he's still a very young player. He's still very young. So the idea that he should be starting every game is a myth. He doesn't need to do that right now. We can all see the ability he's got, but I think substitute appearances right now is what he would expect, and I think is what's best for his development, in my opinion. But I think Ten Hag's definitely got to take his medicine, and he's got to take it on the chin. But in terms of the game, we fully deserve to lose. Spurs deserve to win. Another defeat away from home against a top 6 side. We come back to Old Trafford for Forest. 3 o'clock kickoff on next Saturday. Will Højlund be fit? Will he only be fit to come off the bench? Will he be in the squad at all? Who knows? But all I know is let's get a proper number 9 up front. Whether that's Rashford, whether that's Martial, someone like that. Rashford cannot play through the middle next game. I'm sorry, but he can't. I think he's much better on that left-hand side. And we do need to make changes for the game against Forest. I think Ten Hag showed the faith in the team. He said, go on, perform better than last time, and they didn't really do that. So I think that's given Ten Hag enough evidence to make changes now and kind of change personnel, and hopefully we see a different story. But until then, thanks for watching. I just wanted to give my match reaction because I felt like I had a few things to say. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel as well if you do enjoy these videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. But until then, thanks for watching. Cheers.